I wanted to ask, what's your opinion on the Samaritan religion? It's similar. Do you consider it to be like some kind of
We
different form of
interviewed them. Did you
Judaism or
see?
a valid religion or what?
Yeah, so like
Yes.
on my TikTok, I made this little documentary when I was in Israel, like 3 4 years ago. I went to this place called Holon. So the Samaritans live in two towns in Israel. There's Palestinian Samaritans that don't have Israeli citizenship, and that's where like Mount Gerizim is, like Har Bracha. It's by Nablus, by like Shechem. And then there's the Israeli Samaritans that live near Tel Aviv in a place called Holon. And that's where I went. And I interviewed Ben Sadaka, which is like their main guy. And I went outside of their synagogue because they didn't let me inside because I wasn't a Samaritan. But I looked through the windows and I got them praying. They do prostration. They all wear fezzes and they wear this garb. They're mostly all priests. They claim to be priests. According to the Mishnah, it seems like they're Jewish. According to the Talmud, i.e., the Gemara, the commentary to the Mishnah, it calls them Gentiles. So, the idea from our perspective, because they don't accept Tanakh, or like they don't accept Nach, like the prophets and the writings. They only accept the Torah and the book of Joshua, but their book of Joshua is a little different than our book of Joshua. The reason, or one reason they don't accept our books of the writings and the prophets is that it says that they were placed there by the king of Assyria, or the general known as Sanherib. It was a tactic of his that whenever he would defeat a country, like he would take its inhabitants and spread them across the Assyrian Empire. This is what happened to the 10 lost tribes. This is why they're lost. And the rabbis teach that the Samaritans are Kuthians. In Hebrew is Kutim. There's a whole tractate in the Talmud, Masechet Kutim. And already in Babylon, like the phrase Kuti was synonymous with Gentile. However, in the Mishnah, it states that they converted to Judaism. It says that they converted out of fear of being eaten by lions, because the idea is that when they were placed in Israel, they brought in their idolatry, and then God caused lions. There used to be lions in Israel, and bears actually, to eat them. And they only stopped being eaten by lions when they converted to Judaism. So they were known as the converts of lions, or via lions, or whatever. And they reject the statement. They claim to be a priestly people. And that's pretty much it. They don't believe in our oral law. They have their own customs. And their Torah is quite identical to ours, with the exception that it adds the command that the sanctuary doesn't move from Mount Gerizim. And even today, they offer sacrifices up there. For sure, the Paschal lamb is offered there.